We return with Assemblyman Mike Eng, who was one of the key players in the settlement of the Homeowner Bill of Rights. I want to get to what banking and finance have opposed this measure. They say it'll have the opposite effect. It'll slow down the housing market altogether.
On the contrary, for the first time in the history of California, we're going to have rules. The rules of the game in terms of if you want to foreclose on a property, or from the point of view of a homeowner, if you want to stay in your home. Without these rules, without deadlines, without specific measures in terms of when you can sue and how you can sue, we have the wild, wild west of whoever does whatever, whenever, however they can to the other party.
I wanted to bring up a quote from Republican Assemblyman Tim Donnelly, Twin Peaks, San Bernardino area. The bill goes too far, controlling private industry, he says. It isn't the government's responsibility to guarantee that everyone has a home.
First of all, the 5 largest banks already agreed to everything, just about everything that's in this legislation. If it's wrong for them, then they wouldn't have agreed on it. Secondly, we have a crisis, and the crisis says that everybody loses. Banks, who may be possibly complaining about this, are losing $50,000 of property. And so homeowners losing $20,000, your neighbor and mine suffer every time a home is in foreclosure. Local governments losing $20,000. So we had to act. And I think we won't have the ability to fund government if we don't have this foreclosure problem under control.
It doesn't absolutely prevent foreclosure, however, correct? It just gives more time to negotiate new terms?
That's absolutely correct. The new bill that Governor Brown signed does not require anyone to have a loan modification. But if they do offer one, if a bank offers one, it has to be very clearly delineated, and that's all we're saying.
It also includes, when you alluded to something about neighborhoods that deal with foreclosed properties, and we, at the beginning of this program, showed pictures of some of the homes that once they are abandoned to foreclosure, the dead lawns, the disrepair. This also includes, does it not, some penalties for banks that are allowing homes to look like this?
Yes, what we're saying is that since everybody loses, for example, $9,000 is the figure that was selected where homeowners and their neighbors are losing value. And so what we've done is we've said that if there is a violation of any of those 3, the robo-signing that you alluded to, the single point of contact, or if there's a problem with the dual tracking, then someone can go into court and say, let's correct that process. There are no damages at that point if the house hasn't been sold. And so the penalty there really is that you have to correct the problem. And we don't see that as an onerous burden.
Assemblyman, finally, in our last minute, should you go forward, if you could, from here and say it's January 1st now, what do you predict for the housing market in California? Some may say, again, some economists and naysayers will say that this is going to turn the market down even further. What do you say?
We think that the reaction of the market to the foreclosure settlement by the Attorney General has already played a role, perhaps, in making sure that we have less foreclosures. There's more product on the market, and we just think that when the patient is recovering is the best time to make sure that we have good health for the economy in the days to come.
Assemblyman Eng, thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you'll come back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up next in Economy.